You got my attention, but you won't talk. You stop my ascension, babe, with your evil walk. You confess to your priest, baby. Now confess to me. You make me so damn desperate, babe, but I won't leave.
Madam Acts of Tangent. I'm Adam. I'm joined by the maestro. We got Joel Cole as always, and joining us today, special guest Sarah J Halstead.
Hey.
Now, you're a comedian, an actress, a everythingist.
I'm an everythingist.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. At the end of the day.
We have a bunch of wines here in case you can't pick that up for some reason. You're a big fan of wine?
I'm a big fan of wine. I've been in the wine business for about 15 years, and it's just kind of one of those vocations that always has my back. And so I brought some wines that I thought were really fitting for tonight, really like juicy.
Fantastic.
Pun intended, yeah.
Yeah, wine has always had my back as well throughout the years.
Yeah, right, it gets our back.
It's a dependable friend.
Wine will get your back.
For sure. Yeah, no matter what the occasion is, wine's there.
Wine is there.
Good, bad.
It's your friend.
Yeah, very comforting. So I met you when we did a judge show together.
Yeah.
It's about a month or two ago by now. I don't know.
A month or two ago. I don't know. Yeah,
where
time
I
flies.
very unfairly beat you at a game that he
You did. You kind of really beat my ass at that game. It was fun. It was like we had to choose what the ex-convict, like their mugshot, we had to choose the crime and link the crime to their mugshot. It was a fun game.
It was very fun.
But you were like too good at that game. Like how are you so good at that game?
It's almost like I had seen them before.
Don't check his rap sheet. It's like, oh my God,
I don't think I got one right. You were like, you got everyone.
Well, I know, I've spent a lot of time studying people and just observing them and mostly judging, but I don't know, I guess it becomes a skill at a certain point.
But until then, it's called stalking.
Yeah, well, yeah, they never see me watching them. That'd defeat the whole purpose.
Stalking.
Moving on.
There's nothing to do. He's sitting in his car at 2 a.m. with the lights off.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Still people watching.
Of all people to stalk, though, I mean, I would like to think that your subject matter is a little more
That's a very good
sexy.
Point. Yeah, well, I've evolved. I mean, not under that. I've never done
that. I don't know. You stalking
Yes.
goats. It's none of my business.
So you come from Michigan?
I come from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
Yes.
And how did you end up in LA?
Poisonous water. I drank the water, and now I don't know if this thing growing on my back is a pimple or a nipple.
Oh.
It's concerning, but I try not to think about it. I just move forward like everyone. But yeah, no, I was a corporate champagne dork for over a decade, and I wasn't very happy. I know it sounds glamorous, and it should have been really like a satisfying gig, but I was like, oh, there's champagne, I just was like, it was debauchery and opulent, and it was like too much. I wanted to like just couch surf and be broke and eat ramen. It's the Flint in me. But yeah, so I left that job, and I liquidated everything I owned and loaded into a 30-foot RV and drove to LA about 2 years ago, and it's been really kind of an amazing journey. Okay. Yeah.
Did you stop along the way at all? Is there any special sites?
I did. I have a newfound affection for the trailer park community, for sure. And I fell in love with a particular trailer park in Austin called Pecan Grove.
Oh.
And that's when I learned how to change my sewer pipes, like how to drain my sewer lines. And it's a very bonding thing with whomever shows you that technique.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm just ready for life. Right. You know, that really...
Yeah, that's sharing something that you don't share with a lot of people. It doesn't
get much more real.
Like, I am independent. I can fucking do anything. Yeah, it was cool.
All right. Mm-hmm. So in the time you've been in LA, I mean, I'm sure there's big differences between Michigan, but anything that pops out that is especially like shocking that you weren't expecting from LA?
I did not expect any of this. I thought
Okay.
maybe I would just upload a profile on Actors Access, which is like this acting, casting a forum where you get auditions, and I just for giggles, I put a profile and I just wasn't expecting. I booked 48 commercials in 2 years.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
thank you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like cheesy. I hope nobody sees these commercials. It's like, not really necessarily
called
the
again?
content. Yeah, exactly. No, and I mean, you name it. I've like really cheesy late night infomercials.
Oh,
yeah, and then
okay.
I've also become a true crime reenactment actor.
Oh, wait, before we leave that late night infomercial thing, does this ring a bell? It was like, I'm here waiting. Give us a call.
I would love to
Is it
book
something
that.
like that?
I would love it. That would be really. I would love to, because I have a feeling that those jobs probably pay a little more.
We're just hanging out. Call the party line.
It's funny
I'm like
because
dating myself now. They
I
don't do that anymore, do they? Won't do that.
I don't think people call on the phone.
I don't. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a commercial for that semi recently.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like an old VHS I was watching.
VHS even.
Yeah, those were on a lot during like MTV late night stuff. Those party line things, Live Links, I think it was called.
That was so funny. Hey,
Sounds a
baby,
little
I'm
familiar.
waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I have it now. I'm like great, but yeah,
That sounded a
unfortunately,
little
those yeah,
That was very good. if it was
those
just
gigs
improv.
do not exist. And soccer moms who kill. That kind of thing. That's,
Wow.
Stepford wife who snaps.
Okay.
Schizophrenic crack whore. It's been a blast.
It sounds like
It's
fun.
been really, Go
on.
Yeah, it's been fun. No, it's those. I mean, they're kind of cheesy. They're reenactment shows, but it's it's time on set, and it's cool. And these characters that I play it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And it fascinates me. I mean, there's this one character where she stabbed 5 men in the head with scissors.
Oh.
So,
Consecutively at one time. Yeah, that's all.
and then over time.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
And then would
Wow, that's a
burn
run.
and then would take their bodies and burn them in this wood barrel in the backyard on her farm.
Okay.
And her
pretty
name was Sheila
particular.
Labar in New Hampshire, and I was absolutely honored to play her.
All right.
Sounds like a very particular fetish to like
But
down the
those
barrel.
were very specific people that she was killing, though, right? It was like the bad people. Was that it?
How do you know this?
I may or
Did
may
you
not have
watch
done
the
some
show?
research.
See, and the funny thing,
Yeah.
everyone acts like they don't watch ID. This is on the ID network, and everyone acts like, ID. But it's really kind of funny, all the people who watch it.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of closet ID. I mean, late night, you had a couple drinks, it's just kind of.
Just kind of like,
hard not to
something catches your
watch.
eye. Well, let me see what's happening here. And then 3 hours later.
you can't leave the television. You want to see how it ends.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's been fun.
when you came to LA, you said you just kind of put it up on the profile just
Yeah.
by happenstance. So this wasn't like
just
a
thought,
goal leaving Michigan. I'm going to become an actress.
No, I really did not have that kind of, that wasn't the objective at all. I just
Okay.
wanted to get away from my corporate job. I just wanted to really chill, and I thought maybe I'd just, live in a trailer park and kind of live on the land for a while.
Interesting.
But then this thing just kind of escalated, and then I got into comedy. I started hanging out at comedy clubs, and then I got that bug and started doing that every single night. And then that turned into something, and then I started meeting great people, and yeah, I'm just along for the show, for the
Wow.
journey, and whatever happens, happens.
So basically, about 2 years ago is when all of this started. All the
2 years
acting
ago.
and stand-up comedy and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 years ago.
You've come a long way then in those 2 years.
I kind of have. Yeah, definitely. Opposite turn from what I was doing for sure.
yeah.
I was kind of like this, uptight corporate, chick that talked like, very. I just wasn't myself, and I think you lose yourself over, a lot of those day jobs kind of extract your spirit, and I had let that happen. It's my fault. I mean, it was like a great employer, a great gig, but it just wasn't me.
I understand. That's one of the reasons why I do this, and we've been podcasting for over 7 years now, ish. And outside of right, so outside of work, being able to just have a little release to kind of remind us, or remind me anyway, of who I am outside of work It's a nice little
It's crucial.
escape.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, since you were talking about podcasts, you have a new podcast started soon,
I
right?
do.
That's
I
right.
launched it today.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited. It's called Drinking During Business Hours. And as you
love
can
it.
see, I just kind of, I just kind of crescendoed. I just sort of made it last throughout, right into the evening. But
Yeah. Well, these are technically business hours for Drome anyway.
They are.
So
they are.
There we are.
And for the I think for any creative,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ambiguity in time frame of business.
Right.
Doing
There's no real
business
clocking in or
as.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
5 o'clock
Right. It's
somewhere.
in the wine business. I mean, we would start drinking at 10 a.m. And,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it was taste supposedly, but
Right.
and
You're
sometimes
supposed
there
to
was
spit it out.
spittoons, and
Yeah.
sometimes there weren't. You know, and
I've never. Maybe I'm just an alcoholic, but I can never bring myself to spit after tasting. We go to the wine tasting, like here, get rid of it. And I'm like, no, I'm keeping this.
and not to mention it's just kind of gross.
Yes.
You know, and you got that, and you have to look. You have to get up close to everybody else's spit.
Yeah.
And he's like floaty things, and that you know, it's like, oh God, shit.
Yeah. If I'm
I'd
drinking
rather
wine and I'm
just
trying to enjoy myself,
swallow.
trying to get away from certain things in my head, I don't want to be pulled into that.
Yeah. Don't blame you.
Yeah.
Well said.
Sarah, you said before the proper way to start is with a smaller grape, so Pinot Noir would be the proper way to go. Do you have a particular one?
Oh yes.
This one or that one?
Definitely the California Pinot.
That one's what I'm having. It's pretty tasty.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
from just California appellation. Really simple. 2015, fresh. You can kind of tell Pinot by the color because it'll always be a little thinner. You can see to the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's a very thin skin grape, and a lot of winemakers don't want to mess with it because it's
Why?
a finicky grape, really difficult to grow.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so some Pinots are really bad because they're, the grape is burned because it's really delicate. So I think it's always been kind of my favorite
very subtle.
grape.
It's nice
Yeah,
light, yeah.
No, it's
So curious.
it's like a hot chick, like a really high maintenance hot chick. That's what Pinot is.
Yeah, Pinot's usually what I tell people to get into if they try to not do the whites. Like they want to start with the reds, I'll tell them to start with the Pinot because it's not as in your face as other wines are. And depending on which one you get, a little more fruity, a little easier to go down. Like my sister, she drinks nothing but, oh no, that dessert wine,
Merlot?
Muscat?
Moscato.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will give you a hangover.
Yes.
Very
yes,
sweet,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean,
will.
it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so much sugar.
Yeah, because the way I first got her into wine was with a Moscato, and she that's what I want to drink all the time. So she just drink like bottles to herself, and I can't imagine. That's just too much of the sugar.
Too much sweetness. You
Yeah.
don't need dessert with that. That's the cool
Yeah.
thing about Muscat is that you could just drink it by itself if you have a little sweet tooth, and
Yeah.
if you want to watch ID at midnight with Muscat.
Definitely
Make
makes
it
it
feel
nice.
like someone actually hit you in the head too.
So tell us about the podcast. It's drinking after business
So
hours.
drinking during business
During business hours,
yes,
that's
and it's basically my guess. I have a very esoteric list thus far
Okay.
of creatives whom have an intrinsic link to wine, whether it be like just wine enthusiasts or collectors, or maybe they were a sommelier or a wine director or a waiter,
Okay.
But I'm finding that wine's creative, and usually people that are involved with wine have some sort of creative outlet. And so today I had a best-selling author, and I had a winemaker. I launched 2 episodes today,
Okay.
and the winemaker is also a pianist.
Nice.
And I have a WWF wrestler next week.
Wow.
Oh,
And
yeah.
That's
Chavo
awesome.
Guerrero Jr.
Okay.
Yeah, very kind of like famous dude, and I met him on a commercial shoot. And here's this like big tough guy, and he's swirling his Pinot Noir, and I'm like, what? I love a good Pinot Noir, And I was like, okay, you got to be in my life. We got to exchange information here.
That's awesome.
So it's people like that. And
Very cool.
it's not stuffy, and it's more
That's
talking
good.
about their creativity and like little splashes of wine, but it's not a wine show by any means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you drinking
Sort of
during
like
the
this.
show? do? I mean, the
We
name
are
of the
we are
okay,
drinking
just,
during
I
the
mean,
show.
Fantastic.
You know,
We condone
it's
that.
a little.
That makes for good podcasting. It just loosens people up a little more than
Loosens people
other
up,
things.
and you know, it's an interesting subject matter. You can talk about wine. Yeah, it's fun.
And
So
then
we'll see.
towards the end, you start slurring your words before you know it.
I can edit that part out. You see, it's called GarageBand. Learning all about it.
Yeah, the first couple podcasts that we were doing, we were drinking, but like almost to excess. So
Almost.
Yeah, okay, maybe sometimes more than others.
Happens.
But because I was the one editing all the podcasts, I go back, I hear it, and I'd be like, oh, maybe I should not drink as much during the show because I hear myself slurring, and it's all.
And we don't realize it.
No, at the time it's
Yes.
like I'm being brilliant right now.
I am so on.
Yeah. So what is your wine preference?
My wine preference, that's a great question. I like really like light, aromatic, crisp white wine. It just makes me feel good. Just puts me in a happy place.
All right.
So that's like a Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc, and I like Albarino from Spain, and I really love. We have a Sauvignon Blanc from Loire today. This one, the Le Roc. Yes, I love Sancerre. I love unoaked Chardonnay. Sometimes
Okay.
Chardonnays can be like a really big oak bomb, and some people love that, but yeah, that's kind of my preference. And bubbles, of course, because I was in the champagne business for so long, and they just
Right.
kind of make you happy, you know? They go to your head. But I'm kind of really entranced with the stories. I was never the kind of wine rep that was, can you do me a favor and order 20 cases? Instead, I would talk about, you know, the poetry of it and how it came to be, and this is a husband and wife team from the 1600s, and you know, and I'm like cradling the bottle, and you know, and I'm talking about, you know, how their mansion is haunted, and when he, you know, she took care of him, and then he died, and she was only 19, and she was beautiful, and then, you know, and that's what I'm into.
Yeah, so that was something you'd reenacted also? Was that
I could.
true time story?
I could. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. Yes, the stories I think just do so much for anything in general. That's why they're on all these reality shows. The singing whatever's like before they sing, here's some background. They
That's
give you
right.
the story to.
You can't really get on America's Got Talent if you don't have some sort of,
Right.
if you have all of your limbs. You have to, like, there's got to be
Yes.
something, a hardship.
Yeah.
It's a hero's journey sort
A
of tale.
hero's journey, which
Enhances
is
the
cool.
price.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but there are some people that are just fiercely talented that, you know,
Yeah.
they just
So
aren't
all you
interesting
are is
enough.
talented. That's it.
That's
You got-
it. Come on.
You got nothing else. You got a
a four-range
baggage.
octave. Like what the fuck?
Did you use as a kid?
Yeah.
Some teacher told you never make it?
My nervous
Remember?
tick.
Remember that?
Tourette syndrome, something.
Yeah.
Come on.
In the middle of the song, maybe. Middle of the song, that'd be great.
Yeah. Start yelling.
That would be great. Maybe.
That was on an episode of The Office where I think Andy was trying to go out for America's Got Talent, and so he went off and he put like old makeup on himself so he could pretend to be an old man, to just give himself a story.
Really?
Yeah.
I love The Office. I miss it so much.
It's
It was such a great.
It's just so good.
So good.
Anyway, so
Anyways,
yeah, so you like the whites mostly then?
I think I like whites mostly, but it depends on what I'm eating too. I mean, sometimes
Talk about
you know,
a sentence that could be taken out of context. Soundbite. I mean, I'm sorry. Just
I like
take
the
that
whites.
sound clip. Yeah. So you like the
I
whites
really,
mostly?
I prefer the whites in a white hat that goes there's like this, and with just the eyes cut out. That's fine. That's with my Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire.
That's the kind of gotcha podcasting I'm into.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
That'll be the sound blurb. Like, wait to hear what Sarah says, what she thinks about race relations in America.
But I am kind of into ethnically ambiguous wine as well. I absolutely think that those wines deserve a chance. You know.
Now, what do you think about the size of the bottle? There's some thinner ones, and then you get the big thick ones as well.
I'm telling you, the size does matter when it comes to.
Cork
No one
size.
wants one of those little
things.
wine bottles that you get 7-Eleven. I mean, oh, geez, that
talking
just
about?
sounded so bad. I don't even know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
7-Eleven,
that's
man.
Boone's Farm, bro.
was-
Yeah.
Now, the best wine that I ever tasted, I wanted to buy it. It did come in one of those skinny bottles. And it was like $50 for a skinny bottle. It was I have it on my phone. It's like Brunello.
Riesling Brunello. Shit.
No, shoot.
You know your wines. You brought the J Loire.
Yes.
That's really good wine. It's serious. That's a very serious. That's some. Yeah.
That's fine.
Like you're not messing around.
Well, when you say
It's a
serious wine, do you mean by taste, by flavor? Yeah, it's got a bolder taste.
Big,
'Cause this is
robust
very
palate.
subtle.
It is really subtle.
Yeah, and it's nice though. It's a nice light.
It is nice. Yes, it's nice to start the evening, and you can
Gotcha.
pair it. You can still pair that with fish.
Oh yeah,
Really?
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or not a lot of red wines you can pair with.
Yeah,
you
especially a white wine
later.
thing.
Exactly, but Pinot
wine's
Noir you
usually
can get
with
away with that. And then in the summertime, no one wants to drink a big, huge. I mean, we do because it's nice and air conditioning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
In here, but yeah, and I mean, it's been fucking 100 degrees, and we just don't want to
It's too crazy.
drink. Yeah, I want to drink those big.
Yeah, because
huge-
I generally like reds, but then when it's like too hot, I can't have red wine.
You
now.
seem like a red wine guy to
Absolutely,
me.
absolutely. All
Yeah.
red wine all the time. I started getting into the whites more recently. But
We got to do something with that. That's really fucking funny. Yeah, we know. I'm making a mental note for my set. Something. Absolutely.
that wasn't inaccurate. I'm just- it's I don't know. They were a little bit too vinegary for me at the beginning. I think I got started with the reds and then switched to the white from there. It was just I'd already been accustomed to the reds, so then I had to kind of just develop my palate better for the whites. But going to wine tastings, that has helped a lot.
Oh, so you do that? You go to wine tastings?
Well, my first wine tasting was at a Bevmo. Because they do that on
yeah.
Saturdays. It's
No,
it's like
yeah.
$1 to try 5 different
Oh,
wines.
they charge for the tastings?
Yeah, it's $1.
That's a new thing.
Is it?
Oh, I've never heard of
Well,
that.
this was 6 years ago, maybe.
Oh.
It's been a while. Because I had a buddy that was starting to be a sommelier, and he would run the wine tasting. So all right, that was a nice round. Let's start over, back in the beginning. And we just kind of started learning a little bit.
Here's another
more
$1.
and more.
Let's
Right,
try that
exactly.
again because I'm not really
Ooh,
sure.
another $1.
I'm confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 hours
So
later.
I don't know if this is like almost sacrilegious to say to people that are wine aficionados, but I noticed a difference between the red and the white. Like there was like one summer a few years back where I had white sangria.
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
so much nicer in the hot
That's
weather
fun.
than a red sangria.
That's
yeah,
really
It was
fun.
nice and light
Yeah.
and there's something about red wine in hot weather that doesn't seem to mesh.
No.
No, it's celebratory, and I love sangria. It just all depends on what you're blending it with. If you use like a good prosecco or a good white wine or red wine, or some sangrias are really kind of nasty because they're using like the cheapest wines, and you can taste it, even though you're
Yeah.
throwing the fruit in and all that. I mean,
It comes
there's-
out.
And you can get really good wine for really inexpensive prices. You just kind of have to, like Bevmo, you have to look around, but
Yeah.
they're kind of, they have some good options. Where did you get the J Loire?
That one I got at Stater Brothers.
Where?
Stater Brothers. That's a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you know about them?
Because I've been to Paso for
okay,
some
that's-
tastings,
yeah,
and
okay.
I've heard great things. I don't think I actually went to that specific winery the time I was there, but I remember people telling me you need to go to this winery, you need to go to this winery. So
It's so cool that's a quick jaunt for us. We
Yeah.
can just go to wine country and.
yes, it's very good.
But we have to be careful because the cops literally are like parked, like hidden behind the tree, just waiting for you to come out of the wine tasting, So, yeah, it's really cool if you can
Get
run
a train
driver
that
or
comes
something.
directly into LA from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would
There's
be
a lot of
badass.
places in between
Is there?
Santa
Yeah,
Barbara
I
and
think so.
Salinas. A lot of
But
vineyards
soon.
and wine tasting
Yeah,
places.
so good.
Well, the good thing about Paso too, though, is Uber is very big in that area. So you can Uber from winery to winery, and
Oh, nice.
Let's do that.
yeah, as long as you got
Let's
a place.
go.
Yeah, let's go. All right, I'm
sounds
gonna end the
good.
show early so we can.
Someone told me once, I forget which friend, but they went to do a bike riding wine tasting vineyard tour, and I'm like, that sounds like trouble.
It does.
Like, but after the first one, it's already going to be adventurous. Second
Yeah.
one, you're walking your bike.
So bicycle riding?
Yeah.
And ooh, I don't know, man. That's.
That's
Especially with those windy roads and it's like I still am worried
And the
about the other
hills.
guy. Like,
Is this mountain biking or road biking?
I think road biking.
Oh, thank God.
this would have to be somewhere in
It's
LA
hard.
though.
Well, not like
you're
motorcycle.
going to be
but I mean just, like-
dehydrated
Oh yeah,
because wine is dehydrating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's just
See how long it lasts.
it
Yeah,
could
I
be.
guess, right?
You know what? It could be a comedy.
Yeah. Helmets.
yeah.
Yeah. Each one of them has to wear a helmet with a GoPro.
Right.
Yeah.
Facing their face.
That could be the sequel to Sideways. You could get Giovanni in there.
In the
Giamatti.
padded hot shorts with the padded butt. You got that big.
Oh no, that's a horrible visual.
So you go back too.
I just thought of that. Like that'd be really kind of funny to wear those padded ass
Yes.
spandex.
They come in shorts now.
I mean, some of the women, some people are wearing that under their
J
pants
lower.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Oh, it's a cab. That's right.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, you can kind of always tell by the shape of the bottle.
Oh, really?
So the Pinot will always be in that, the burgundy shape. That's like a classic burgundy style.
And so this is more for cab merlots and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, usually.
What do you think about Merlots?
Merlots have a bad rap. There was this film called Sideways.
Yes.
And
Sideways
they
ruined
really
Merlots for a couple
they
years.
ruined Merlot, and the irony of that film. I love that film.
Yeah.
I thought the script was amazing. The act, like I just loved it. But it
Yeah.
wasn't really about wine.
No.
But it was, they had like little
it was
fun.
it was a place setting, and that was it. The setting was wine, but not.
I don't believe that Merlot ever recovered from that film.
Yeah.
They just really beat it on Merlot, and made. There was a scene where the lead character was like, "I will not fucking drink Merlot."
Yeah.
And so everyone
hard
just
would-
assumes it's a bad grape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he freaks out.
Mm-hmm.
He's throwing stuff. At one point, he actually does drink that spit platoon thing.
Oh my.
And what's really funny is at the end of the film, they're drinking Chateau Petrus, which is considered the most expensive and best wine in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It's 100% Merlot. So there was a little bit of a hole in the script.
Oh, beautiful.
Or there was either a hole in the script or the writer knew and the joke was on everybody.
I would hope that the writer knew.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that.
I'd
anyway.
like to think so too.
Yeah.
To make such a solid wine joke and not do that research
Yes.
would be a little.
Right.
It was fun. But it was fun. What a great film.
Yeah,
we
we-
need to have more films about wine that aren't stuffy like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing Giamatti being interviewed when the whole thing where when he tastes his wine, he covers his ears. Like he made that up on the spot. It's not an actual thing when people cover their ear, but it's just the way that he did it was so like. Yeah, I believe that.
That's
I
your
believe people do that.
idiosyncrasy.
Yeah.
You're entitled to it.
Yeah, but
Senses.
we used to have a podcast called Top Shelf on the network where we would go to different restaurants or different wine bars, and the wine bars we went to, we talked to them about Sideways, and they all are like, "Yeah, Merlot got screwed."
Oh,
so
just
badly.
plummeted. Sales, I remember, I was a wine rep. I think I represented a Napa wine at the time. And we had a Merlot, and forget about it. I couldn't get arrested with that poor thing. It was just, and there's really nothing wrong with Merlot. Really nothing wrong. It's a delightful grape. I
Yeah,
mean, it's,
that's
it
fine.
originated from Bordeaux, one of the best wine regions in the world. And, but it gets a little, it's kind of a bland grape in the U.S. So that's all.
It does. I don't know. I think. Well, maybe we've had bad ones, but it's like there's too many tannins, and it makes the tongue feel weird.
What I was gonna say is, what I was gonna say is like
Is that birdcage?
Yeah.
Yes.
from the time that I spent waiting tables way back when and stuff, the cab always seemed to be more tanniny and have a bite, whereas the Merlot seemed to me to be more velvety and smooth. So that's always been my experience with them. That the cabs were always a little more.
Interesting.
Well, tannins come from the skins of the grape. So the thicker the grape, the bigger the tannins usually.
Okay.
So it
what
also
am-
depends on how they, like I don't want to get too geeky, but they macerate the, they macerate the skins of the grape.
It's like Lucy
or when
in the
they
tub.
press. Yeah, exactly. We're there with the boots. And no, but I've actually never done that, and I think that that's just no one. I don't think stomps on grapes today.
No,
Well, there was
Sadly.
a newscaster too. I mean, I know that's an old clip, but when they fall, they're like, ow, ow, ow,
Oh yeah, that's right.
It'd be
but
fun.
What I wanted to
Very
ask about
therapeutic.
that, what about the size of grapes between Merlot and Cab? How do they compare then for the tannins? Like,
Oh, they're just kind of, they've been doing it a long time, and they just kind of have the experience to know that the Cabernets are going to be it's just a bigger grape.
it is,
It's just
okay,
a more
so
bold.
it's like smallest,
It's just-
and then Merlot is like a little bigger, and then the Cabs are the biggest grapes.
So say they separate at the time of harvest. They handpick. Some of the bigger wineries just have machines that pick the grapes. and it's just all machine harvested, and it's just this huge business. And then in Europe, they have gypsies, these cool, people who yeah, exactly. And but that's like a kind of a high-paid profession.
Only they can use
Europe.
that word.
Yeah, is that right?
But yeah, and they just keep the lots separated and the grapes separated, and yeah, through experience. But there's always like exceptions. There really are no rules.
I never knew before today, though, that the size of the grape and the thickness of the grape skin affects directly the taste and the tannin of the different wines.
Size really does matter.
Well, and when I say size, I'm talking about volume. I'm talking about big, the flavor profile when I say size, because they're all kind of the same, I think.
I just wanted to play with the joke. That's all.
That was a good that's
Size
good
matters
material.
when it comes to taste.
Right, and then the thicker it is, also the more or less sensitive you can be to discerning.
We passed it.
Because of the thickness, you see.
That's right.
The thickness of the skin, but some grapes are...
Go along with this right now.
Yeah,
That's where this is going. What's going on right now?
No, we're all just ripping dumb jokes like that.
All right, so
messages.
You're acting. You've done a couple movies, some shorts.
I did a couple shorts. I did, and then I wrote. I don't know, one that I'm kind of ashamed of. I'm not really happy about it, but I wrote and produced and starred in my short called Meet the Roommate.
Right.
And I did it because I wanted to learn about the other side. I wanted to have a casting. I wanted to learn about production, but it's kind of, I can't even stand to watch it. To be honest, it's kind of terrible, to be honest. But it was. But I'm glad I did it, and it's about a middle-aged realtor from Flint who goes back to college.
Okay.
And these two girls get stuck with her.
Right. Yeah, I saw some clips of that on your website.
It's just kind of fun.
So you're back to school? What do you mean?
No, I'm just going to school.
Yeah.
But
looked interesting. So you handled all the back end stuff as well as being in it as well?
Yes, I did. All the paperwork to submit to IMDb and what did I say? Something.
No.
Oh,
my phrasing is
did I
weird.
miss something?
Yeah.
Oh, back
So
end.
you worked on all the back end.
I did. I worked on that. I did. I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it as
didn't
well.
want to say anything. We've been doing that too much already. I'm not going to say anything.
Thanks, Maestro.
Appreciate it. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. So how did you like the whole behind the scenes type of things?
The Pinot, please. I hated it.
Did you? All right.
Yeah, it's not for me. So, I'll do it if I have to. I think with social media, it's empowering, and we can definitely kind of take the bull by the horns and create our brands, and that's a new thing. We didn't have that option.
Absolutely.
Even just 5 years ago, that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
So if that's the way that I'm going to have to play it, I'll do it. But so the next step for me was the podcast, and that's a lot of fun because it's amalgamating kind of my two worlds for the first time. Finally, I'm doing the wine thing and the comedy, and I'm just going to see where it goes. It might not work, might not be funny.
It's a lot of fun podcasting, and the important thing not that you asked for my advice, but for podcasting.
I need your advice. Adam, tell me what to do.
Tell me what to do. For me, I found it important to not care about who's listening. The important thing should be just making the show and doing what you want to do. And if people start catching on, fine. Don't try to cater to anybody specifically. Make sure that you keep your voice throughout the entire process.
That's great advice. Thank you. I will try.
And then drink when you're not happy with what you get.
And drink, yeah, exactly. And
does that mean you don't want to hear my segment on my top 3 favorite fidget spinners?
Oh man, I'm about to hear that.
The fact that there's that much variety in fidget spinners is concerning to me.
3?
Yeah.
There's a top 3?
Well, I guess you can have the glowing ones, the ones with 2, the ones with 3.
No, don't give them
See what you've
ammunition.
done.
Don't give them ammunition.
I derailed everything trying to talk about a fan.
That's my job, not yours.
Yeah, let Maestro be the wrench. Podcasting. It's been a real fun experience for me anyway. I'm pretty sure you've enjoyed it, some parts of it. But it's just we never really advertised at all, and just we picked up steam over the years. Just I don't know how, word of mouth.
But that's the best.
Yeah.
Organic growth. Not to get all marketing guru stupid, but
Right.
no, that's if you're not sometimes you can just be overly eager on social media, and I'm probably one of those people. I'm constantly,
No, that's good.
I'm on set of a commercial and look at the camera, and that's me, and you see the.
That is
I'm
very
working.
important. That is very important. I suck at that. I know there's something we need to do better, or I need to do better, but I just
It's
I
so
can't do it.
uncomfortable. It's really.
But if you do it a lot, that's great. That's the way to get out there.
And by the time it's Friday or Saturday, like I am narcissistic out. I am. I don't know if that's a word.
Sure.
I'm narcissistic out. Like I just can't. I can't post one more goddamn photo of myself. I'm so sick of myself, But it's we're definitely in a very like quintessential narcissistic era right now.
Let me ask you this then. So what platforms are you engaging in? I guess Facebook, Twitter, the basics.
Yes.
Are you doing
Instagram.
the
Instagram's
Snapchat?
kind of my biggest thing.
Yeah.
It just
Okay.
which was the most uncomfortable for me in the beginning, because it's really, about building you, in your brand, and posting selfies and here I am, and this is my, and I am kind of guilty of making the job looking bigger than it really is.
No,
Like
that's fine.
I'll be on the set of an infomercial, and I'm like, I make it look like a major motion film,
Well, yeah, that's what you have to do.
It's perception.
Fake
Yeah,
it till you
sure.
make it, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
figuring out the hashtag game.
The hashtag, but the power of a hashtag, man.
Yeah, it gets
Wow.
eyes on you. It does.
Jesus H, I can't believe like today my very first guest on my podcast was a best-selling author, Kim Grunenfelder, and I posted her book, a photo. My ex-in-laws sent me a book called Misery Loves Cabernet. So I posted a photo of it, and I'm like, what are they trying to say? And I hashtagged Kim Grunenfelder, and she's like, thank you. And we became friends, and she was on my podcast today.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah, like this big author. Like she's in my house. I was like nervous and giddy. I cleaned for 3 hours. I made cookies. I'm like, oh, she likes chocolate chip. I could just, Well, she's like wanting
That's
to hang
awesome.
with me. I'm from
that's a-
Flint. God, how did this happen?
Yeah, and a very important thing to be able to keep a clean house is to have people over.
That's the only reason. That's
Yeah.
the only time I
Like
clean my.
once, twice
Yeah.
a month if you can, because then you're forced to be like, oh shit, I gotta take care of that over there. I haven't vacuumed in 2 months.
Oh my God.
It really makes you aware of how dirty your house
That's
is.
why you need to invite people over once in a while.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
you clean.
Yes, it's a good trick. It's a good trick.
That's a good point.
How long's that been there?
You're right.
Shit.
It's expired 5 years ago.
for that sandwich.
So as far as stand-up goes, the comedy game, how did you first? I mean, did you go to a comedy show first and you just fell in love with it and started hanging out, or how did you get into that?
I just hate myself that much.
Yes.
No, it's really.
I hear that's a
exciting.
common thread in comedy. It's a lot of
I
self-loathing.
think so. Yeah, it's just a lot of self-deprecation, and you can just really be raw and real and talk about how much you hate you. And the more you talk about how much you hate you, everyone laughs. It's like they just love it. They're
Yeah.
just feeding right into it. And there's an addiction, because you have moments of where people are, really responsive, and then you have moments where it's just like a dilapidated, like. And you just hear this and the air conditioning unit in the corner, and but there's something poetic and romantic about it, about the chase of comedy, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop.
That's good. I think doing stand-up comedy is one of the bravest things that can be done.
For sure.
Because the whole, podcasting, we're mostly hiding behind mics. There's not a whole lot that we can't. But to get instant feedback, you say a joke, whether it lands or it doesn't, it's right there. You have an exact.
Get instant
Feedback?
Feedback,
or acceptance, right?
Yeah,
Or
right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's, I don't know if
wanting to just your desire to relate to someone else, or to have someone relate to you, like, okay, I'm not the only one. Really? You think that's funny? Great, thank you.
Right.
I thought it was funny too. No, it's very bonding, especially
Okay.
with other comics. Because it's so hard. And if you can put together a premise, setup, and punch, and make it work, you can like live on my sofa. I mean, it's a bonding. Like we look out for each other, the comics, and it's a tight knit community here.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been a nice little family for me. Because I didn't know anybody when I moved here, you know. So it's like, you know, kind of like entered this circle of misfits.
Yeah, all the same thing in comedy. You look
It's like
torturing yourself on the stage.
And these people, like, normally I'd be afraid of them, but it's like, oh, you're a comic. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, it makes total sense. So you're not going to kill me. You're just a comic.
Automatically know so much about them. Yeah.
Exactly. They're probably thinking the same about me.
So the first couple times you were on stage, what was your first time on stage? Was it an open mic, or how did you get
Open mics are just fascinating in this town. It's just you see, I mean, and you never know who's going to walk in. I mean, I've had, you know, like really well-known comics that just want to kind of. I was at Gotham in New York City a couple months ago, and Jerry Seinfeld walked in unexpected and said, "Hey, you don't mind if I try out an hour of material, do you?"
That's awesome.
And we were like, "No, we don't mind at all." And he had his paper, his notepad, and what was really cool is, you know, to see Jerry Seinfeld with his notes.
Yes.
And doing the homework like we do the homework. And yeah, like even Jerry Seinfeld has to do it. You know, and he had like this notepad and he's going through it and he's like, "Oh, that's not funny. Okay, let me do it again." And but in a different way. And it's like, shit, we do that.
That's
Oh
awesome.
God, and you're Jerry Seinfeld. We're not crazy. No, it was very cool.
It's like seeing them sharpen their tools.
Yeah.
You know, it's behind the scenes, sort of. It's a sneak peek
that
into
was-
the process.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it.
He put a
It
movie
just
out.
makes you feel a little,
Maybe about 15 years ago by
crazy.
now.
What's it
Where
called?
I think it was called Comedian. The movie he put out where it was the camera following him around as he developed a new set after he did the I'm Telling You for the Last Time, which is the last like big album he did. So it was following him around and showing other comics too, kind of coming up.
I haven't seen it.
It's
but I
great
heard
because
about
it's
it.
all things you're talking about. He's on stage where parts where he bombed, parts where he forgot jokes, and just his whole struggle and his self doubts about things. It's just like, but you're Jerry Seinfeld. Why do you have doubts? How's that? It just made him so human, so much more human than.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
Everybody kind of needs that, no matter what your aspirations are. You know, everybody had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So if other people are doing it, you can too.
Yeah.
That's how. And maybe I'm special needs for thinking that way, but you know, and I wonder, like, everyone's nice to me in this town. I'm like, am I special needs? Because everybody's nice to the special needs person. You know, I wonder, like, am I, you know, and I just don't know about it, and no one has told me.
Have you worn a bike helmet when you're not riding a bike?
I probably should.
I'd like to ask a question then. So about, you said open mic, so I'm guessing that was your first time getting up and doing it.
Yes.
So, and you also mentioned liking seeing Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, with his notes and seeing like that's what we do. So how long did you labor on your open mic set before you actually went up? Did you retool it and go, and before you just decided, screw it, I'm going up?
I think everyone has to say, screw it, let's do this, because there's just no way you're really gonna learn until you just go for it.
So was it a
And
week, 2-3 weeks?
Because
Just wondering, like-
you're going to bomb, you're going to bomb inevitably. It's not so like you could. I mean, people do it for years and bomb. I mean, I've seen. I'm not going to say any names, but like really famous people that were not fucking funny, not at all. You know, and they're so and so. So I think it's just. So there really is no. I went in right away, and I was, you know, new blood in LA, and the bookers could smell me, and I was kind of naive, and so there's this category of comics in Los Angeles and in major cities called a bringer.
Yes.
Have you heard of this?
Yes.
And I don't believe a majority of America knows about it. So
I haven't. Yeah. What's a bringer?
Okay, this is great. A bringer is a comic or an aspiring up-and-coming comic that is books big venues, but they have to bring 8 to 12 people that pay the door fee plus a 2-drink minimum, and that really adds up. And a lot of the time, the comic isn't even getting paid. It's really kind of demoralizing and wrong. It's really taking advantage so much of the comic. And it's a lot of pressure to bring people, you know, $35 entry fee and a 2-drink minimum, and you got a tip on top of it. That's
Right.
like, $80 to $120, depending on how much you drink.
So,
You
so
know?
a comic would have to promise that they would bring that, but if they don't, the comic doesn't go up?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And the bookers are just hardcore, just nasty. They just treat you like dirt on the bottom of their shoe. They don't even, okay, and I'm just gonna say it was fucking Comedy Store, and I brought a ton of people. This is such a nightmare story, and including family, and yeah, I was so excited to be there, and I promoted the shit out of the show, and I'm on all my Instagram handles, and they announced me, they're like, and ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is Jessica.
Ooh.
Who the fuck is Jessica? And here I am bringing in
Is that what the J
all
stands for
this-
by chance? The middle name?
Yeah, right, Jane.
Jane,
Yeah, they
oh.
weren't even close.
Samsonite.
And had I had a little more experience, I would have played with that on stage. But I was just mortified. I was new. I had people.
Wow.
My neighbors, my.
Yeah, that's
my
kind of
talent
breaking your focus.
manager. So
Totally.
it can be. But that's, you see like these up and comers and you wonder like, how are they booking Comedy Store and Flappers and Ice House and Laugh Factory, and it's called Bringer.
Yeah, bring your shows.
Yeah.
So, you have family out here then?
I have some cousins here
Oh,
that
okay.
are also.
'Cause that's what I was thinking. If you're coming from Michigan and then bring a show for you, like.
Yeah, that's
Have you
such
met
a
that
great.
many
Yeah,
people?
I don't know enough people,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to make friends, right? And a lot of the people, like I mean, sometimes the only people that I can get to show up for these shows are just like sleazy guys who want to fuck me. And so at the end, and then I have to kind of like play that game, and then I'm like sneaking out the bathroom window afterwards. I'm like,
Yeah, you sit on stage right, you sit on stage left, you go to the back.
I'll be over here.
but no, and I've heard, other, comics talk about these days, and I hope one day I can look back and laugh at all this, but maybe not. Maybe this is just going to be it, but that's okay. It's a blast. It's fun.
Everything, what is it? Comedy is tragedy plus time. Or comedy, tragedy plus time equals comedy. So
That makes sense.
after a while, it'll be funny.
It's already getting, it's, I mean, that night wasn't good. I can't even tell you how many times I have gone to my car and cried after a set, after a show. And I was at a show recently, and a comic said she was bombing. And she said, I just hope you know, I prepared for this set, and afterwards I'm gonna go to my car and I'm gonna cry. I might cry right now talking about this.
Wow.
And I stood up and woo! I just loved that she said. I love that she was so vulnerable and everyone loved it. And then all of a sudden she had the audience.
Nice.
And now we're just with her. And no matter what she says, we're gonna laugh. And and it was just kind of a really, I think the more raw and vulnerable you are
Yes.
on stage, the more the people.
It's very human. I mean, people will relate. Everyone feels that way at some point, whether it's through exposing themselves through comedy or their writing or their art. But I think that is a relatable moment and builds a connection. So,
Yeah.
It built my connection with her because
Yeah.
I've cried in the car, and you know if you do well if you play the radio or not on the way home. That's the sign, okay?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
If you're listening to music on the way home, you had a good set.
Yeah, I do trivia sometimes, or I host trivia at different places, and there'll be nights where the audience, or the players, whatever, they're really animated and whatnot, and I feel good at it. But some nights, it's just maybe two teams show up, and then afterward, just kind of sit in the car and for a good 10 minutes. All right, I guess I should go home now. And through no fault of anybody's. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Start dancing for fucking trivia? No.
Yes.
Call me.
Yes.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's
On the right music, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So who brought that last bottle?
This was Sarah.
Okay, now are you on that right now?
Yeah, that's a deep, dark, thick, yeah, it's very good.
This is called a Super Tuscan.
Oh,
So it's a blend of, it's a 33% Sangiovese, 33% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 33% Merlot in the heart of the Chianti district. And this brand is called Beret. It's just so fucking
it's got
good.
a great taste, yeah.
And it's really inexpensive. It's under, I don't know, under $20, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
It was, I mean, to get like a big hearty super Tuscan blend like
Well,
that.
yeah, ever since you pointed out the Pinot Noir being so light, I've been holding it up just to see the light go through it, and the light really doesn't pass through this one.
No,
It's like
I'm
night.
not going to on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dense and bold. And
It's like a liquid black hole.
it goes really, it is. Like, and this is like a meat eater. This is a dark abyss, right? It's like,
You know what?
it's like lamb, steak, that kind of thing.
Well, you know what? I don't doubt that does go good with lamb and steak. I like that the bottle said that it pairs well with pizza.
Where?
Does
Did
it?
it really? I've never noticed that.
That's amazing.
Okay. I bet it does pair with pizza.
Yeah, pasta, pizza, and braised meats.
Oh.
Yeah, the fact that it mentioned pizza in like a whole sophisticated description of their
Curious
wine.
to
Yeah.
know.
Pepperoni,
Like, nice.
Salt, you know, the
Yeah.
meats. Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
pizza's not just a Little Caesars type of thing anymore. There's
Yeah.
crazy, like, amazing pizzas. I can't think of the words.
Dia Mores in
Culinary
Malibu
masterpieces.
is amazing.
A whole new level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started making these pizzas at home out of the cauliflower crust.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I've
It's
never tried.
it's amazing.
Really?
Because it takes away all the bad stuff. You
Well,
take
how
out.
do you get to stick together?
It's cauliflower, it's mozzarella, some Italian seasoning, and egg beaters. Mix that together.
Ah, the egg beater stuff.
Oh my God, you're so healthy.
Yeah, it's crazy healthy. I've been on this diet for the past about 2.5 months, and that is.
I didn't want to say anything, but you look skinnier.
Thank you. Thank you.
He does look great. I told him that
Yes,
last time
you
I
look
saw him
really
too.
good, dude.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you, it's maybe about 15 pounds. I think I've lost since then.
And I gained 15
No,
pounds. But you know what?
no,
it's,
you-
it's, you
stop
know,
it.
it's like an up and down thing.
Yeah, but no, those pizzas have been a lifesaver. I couldn't have got through the diet without those damn pizzas.
So you make these pizzas?
Yeah, you make the crust with the cauliflower, and then I usually make about 10 to 15 at a time. It takes the whole day, but then you freeze them. Then you can have them for the next week or two to then just you add the sauce, you add the vegetables, cheese, and like
Oh,
chicken,
so you can still
pepperoni.
add cheese.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Adam.
Regular
like
cheese
skim.
or like almonds cheese?
No, it's mozzarella, but it's like 2% or something, and it's amazing.
Adam, you smell that?
That's it.
I smell a cooking segment coming for you with these pizza crusts.
I smell pot.
Well, I think that's just a place next
that's next
door.
door.
Yeah.
Every single time, man.
Someone's died?
Made your pack real quick.
Oh, yes.
Someone died?
Died.
Oh.
Or you muted it somehow. You missed a
Oh,
scratch.
I've been getting animated over here.
Your phone dropped. I kind of put
Thank you for doing that. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's
Yeah, don't worry.
Turns out during the whole last time we were here, my mic was off the entire time.
Really? Oh shit.
I was able to mess with the audio enough that it's still
my
workable, but that's fine.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I checked it before we started too, and it was like, sounds good. But there was problems.
I am so
The
not a
computer went
tech
down.
person.
No.
I mean, but being a podcaster, you have to learn. Like,
Yes,
You absolutely have to be
absolutely.
on your game.
Before podcasting, I knew nothing about it. Everything
That's
was
me.
been self-taught. And I told a story, I think, 2 weeks ago, but the first time we started podcasting was on karaoke equipment. And it just, I rigged that to plug into the computer, and that's how we started recording the first couple episodes.
I love it.
And over time, we've upgraded. I've gotten soundboards and different things.
Now
and
you're all
whatnot.
fancy
Yeah,
with
nah.
the fancy headphones. You got the Big Mac Daddy.
Not yet. I can't get these guys to wear headphones
Dead
yet.
mouse.
No. But yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
pizza's a real thing now. It's all over the place.
cauliflower. Yeah, going
Yeah.
back to the cauliflower
Yeah, no,
concoction.
That's fine. It's good. You can use
I'm
it to
gonna
make.
try it. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
definitely.
You can use it to also make like these little like fake tortillas for tacos. You can used to make fake bread, so you can the cauliflower, that whole dough thing, it replaces everything. And holy crap, it's just pretty good.
So you're essentially not eating carbs.
It's
your
low
avoid- is
carb.
that-
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not no carb. It's low carb. Because I
Okay.
mean, I still gotta have some beer sometimes.
Like 50.
Got to. Gotta have beer sometimes.
Even though it's not like a low carb sort of option, but Dia Mores pizza in Malibu is some of the best pizza I've ever had in LA. Yeah, and like the water is shipped in from Italy, and so is like
wow.
the flour is
Oh,
all
really?
organic, and yeah.
That's really
but
cool.
what I liked about it is that it was a very crispy crust, and it seemed like the crust was just a plate for the toppings. So it's not just like all crust like a mass-produced pizza or something like that. But yeah, proper pizza is definitely like a treat and not like just pizza.
Okay.
For me, it's always been the
done.
fan of the pizzas that actually had like the fresh ingredients. Like instead of just having like small bits of tomatoes, like actually having slices of tomatoes. Like,
Oh yeah.
real like Romano tomatoes, like maybe a quarter piece and the whole thing, creating the sweetness and tanginess at the same time. Yeah.
You know, my philosophy has always been, I'm not picky, I'm from Flint, you know, and our big night out was Applebee's. And it was a treat, and Ruby Tuesdays, but my big thing, when that plate comes out and it's in front of me, I want it to look like someone gave a shit.
Okay.
That's pretty much it, right? Because you don't want to, you don't want to take in someone who, you know, that kind of energy where they just like, fuck you, and like who knows, there's like cigarette butts or whatever could be in it. You know, like I just want it to look like someone cared.
Yeah.
Right.
And if somebody cared, like, so those tomatoes you're talking about, like someone was like, no, let's like slice some beautiful red tomatoes and give a shit.
Yeah. All the
That's what you want to put in your body, you know?
Yeah.
Like that sort of care.
No, I totally think vibration when you're creating food does matter. You want it to, you know, at risk of using cliche, you want it to be made with a little bit of love, care, attention, something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not by a robot.
And not by a robot.
Yeah.
Unless it's been programmed
someone
to experience
hungover.
love.
Right, exactly. We're going in that direction anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
They actually have a programmed kitchen that does all the cooking for you. Everything is programmed by a actual chef, and everything is arms, everything, they do it for you. Everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Daughter Judy.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Have you guys heard of a show called Black Mirror? It's on Netflix. It's pretty much
So many shows.
it's a British version of the Twilight Zone. Is basically what it is,
Oh, I
but
would like
modern
that.
day. And one of the things that happened in it, this episode actually had John Hamm in it, which is weird because it's a British show. And he's like super
But he's
American.
John Hamm,
Yeah,
so.
of course, yeah. Who's gonna say no to John Hamm? Can I be on your show? Yes, please. But what they did was they would implant something in your brain for about a week so that it learns how your brain operates. And then they pull it out, and that basically becomes an AI that you put in your house to put a version of you in charge of your house. So it's like you could, that now being thinks it's you, but it's not you. It's an AI version of you. So it knows exactly how to make your coffee, what temperatures to put it on, when to wake you up, all the things.
Oh my God. I would like to do that just to see how annoying I am. You know? Because sometimes it's like, how could anybody not like me? And then like you have a replica. Oh yeah, I see where that went. Yeah, that's a little off-putting. Oh yeah, that was really bitchy.
Wow, that's a great idea.
What?
Because then you see yourself from the outside perspective.
Yeah, man, it's like,
Yeah, and we're like, yeah, they're
that's
good. But then
It's
somebody
like,
else like,
it's like, ooh, that
what
was
we're doing right
really
now.
annoying.
yeah. Well, that's him. That's why I have him.
What?
If I have like a certain shirt, and he's like, really? What's that?
You need that
This
friend.
guy's sense of style is crazy.
That's so important to have the friend that's just going to tell you the way it is and not candy coat everything, you know?
Yeah.
Can't get rid of me.
I appreciate it.
How do you guys know, like, what's the dynamic here? How do you know each other?
Since high school. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
A long time.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You guys would die for each other.
Yes.
That's a really strong bond.
More likely I would end up dying first, though.
And you will
Because
not
you
let
must have to
a
fight
robot
better.
get in your way. Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah. In Roland Heights. It's 20 miles east of here.
So you guys you're LA boys.
Yeah, well, it's almost on the edge of like LA and Orange County. So
Okay.
we're far enough away from LA to avoid all the craziness of LA.
Gangs.
We have different kinds of gangs. We have the Asian gangs in our area. But
Oh, don't forget the board game. No? Okay.
it's a magic joke. Is that what you're doing?
The Ouija board?
Yeah, no magic.
I think
magic,
all kids do. Were you guys doing the Ouija board?
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
You kids. You Tadburn kids.
No.
Stay off my lawn!
But another while ago, we were giving recommendations for pizza, so that I feel like that's a good segue into our final segment of the show,
What's that?
where we give recommendations, or in this case, we have something else.
Yeah, well, it's
top
like
two.
the top 2 recs of right now, and so that's like top 2 recommendations that we would give each other. But I guess I guess it is just top 2 because it's not recommendations,
Yeah,
even though
understand.
maybe it is in a
Could
way.
be.
But the subject tonight, like what we did before, was like TV shows we would recommend to each other, or something like that. Maybe we haven't seen. But tonight it is guilty pleasure songs.
Yes.
So songs that we like but are embarrassed to admit it.
Yeah.
There is very little I'm embarrassed of, though.
What?
I mean, come on, I love watching Birdcage. I like
Nothing wrong with that.
I like the band Wham.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, though.
Wake me up before you go.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
What is a song you catch yourself sometimes singing that just pops in your head and you're like, you know, I probably wouldn't just sing this out loud if I'm hanging out with my friends or something like that.
With him, I'd sing anything though. That's the thing.
Right.
I believe that. I do.
Well, this is kind of hard though, because like for us, we have this bar that we frequent where Cowboy is a bartender, also part of the podcast network here.
Actually, that's the bar right there.
Yeah, actually, we're in his bar. Technically, we're technically in his bar right now.
Cowboy sleeping in the back.
Most of the time, we put like show tunes on the jukebox while people are still in the bar, and just be belting out as loud as we can, and it usually clears the bar out, but we're having a good time.
I love it.
Yeah, we usually do that around like 2 a.m. so everyone does clear out. So
It's the best. It's the best night ever.
I know I'm going backwards here, but I want to try the Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, yes, and you should.
Excuse
I think,
me for reaching.
Is that the cold one, or is the cold one at the end? One is cold and one is room temperature.
This feels a little colder.
Okay, yeah, have the colder
Okay.
one.
All right.
Okay.
Oh no, this one's colder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
I didn't feel the other one.
No,
Your
yeah,
guilty pleasure
no.
songs.
let's
Okay,
see.
so
Actually, let's.
so Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Are you?
It's more like it's a careless whisper.
Shocking.
It was so good.
I like that song.
It was so good. Yeah. I will be your daddy. Is that one? Is it that one, or is it? Am I
that's
confused?
Father Figure. I think.
Oh, all right. I get it mixed up. I like that daddy.
Careless Whisper is the.
Oh, the saxophone.
It was featured in Deadpool
But
most
it's so
recently.
good.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
good. It is good.
I really took his death really. That really sucked when he died. God, really, you're George Michael, and so I was playing some of his ballads on full blast in my apartment, and security knocked on my door. But instead of telling me to turn it down, they just wanted me to quit singing along. That was
That's
not very nice.
hilarious.
I would rather it be the other way. It's really,
That is
I'm
not
still
nice,
getting
yeah.
over it now.
But it's
That really
very hilarious.
played with my
That was
psyche
a
there.
time we were at a friend's house. It was a little kickback type of thing, and we had put on.
Don't say it. Don't do it.
Yes, do it.
Had put on a Rainbow Connection from the Sesame Street
Kermit
movie.
the Frog.
Yes.
It's one of the best ballads
we had
ever.
played it. We were playing it loud. He had a puppet of a Cookie Monster, and he was like mouthing along to it from behind the couch, so it looked like it was him singing it. When the song ends, we got a knock at the door, and somebody called a noise complaint on us, and the cops were there to tell us to knock it off. We're like, but we.
Rainbow Connection.
He kind of had this look
No
on his
more
face.
Rainbow
like,
Connection
He saw
tonight.
through the window what was happening, and so he understood what was actually happening. And I felt like he felt weird about it, but still, you guys need to stop singing Sesame Street, please. It was just it was such a weird experience. Like,
I love that. I love
the cops calling us
that.
for Rainbow Connection?
Oh my God.
Lucky
that's
Cookie Monster
awesome.
didn't get cuffed and
That's the
taken
best story
outside.
ever.
Oh my God.
So that would be a guilty song, or
Okay, so, yeah.
Rainbow Connection.
All right. So that's it. So you got Wham.
No, let's not do
Oh.
one. Let's not do both at the same time. Let's go once
Oh,
round.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel
What
better
about
that
you,
way.
sir? You got a guilty pleasure song?
Do I have anything by Whitney Houston?
Okay.
Oh, all right.
I'm your baby tonight. That one, you know, and she
Okay.
was like so 80s, and she had the collar up and the curly hair, and oh, she was so amazing.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I love all of her ballads.
Okay.
And then of course you have, okay, we're gonna go one at a time. All right, I'm getting excited now.
right,
So
go.
many.
Okay, this one, so I picked one recent, and the other one I just like, there's something that is kind of like deep-seated, but I'll save that one for later. But the one that's recent is Ed Sheeran, Shape of You.
Okay.
It's just so catchy, but I also feel like as like a musician or someone that has written songs before, it's like one loop over and over, and it's just so simple. But every time I hear it, it'll get stuck in my head, and I enjoy it. So
Was Ed Sheeran? He was on Game of Thrones, wasn't
Yes,
he?
he was.
yeah,
Oh, I
weirdest
missed
cameo
it.
ever.
Really? It didn't work, or it did?
It just
There
didn't
was
really.
a lot
There
of
was no
backlash.
Out of
sense for
place.
it. Yeah.
Apparently, it was just because Arya Stark really is a big fan of Ed
Oh,
Sheeran.
really?
That's why they booked him on the show, apparently. Supposedly. That's what I read online somewhere. And the internet never lies.
Of course not. No, but just the fact that it's like, once I listen to it, like from a musical sense, it's like it's one loop over and over, and then they just like bring down the sound for a little bit while he changes. Like the verse, the chorus, and all that, there's no differentiation really besides his voice.
Yeah,
Very simple, but super catchy.
Oh, and he has a knack for that. Those
Yeah.
really. And what's the ballad that really kind of took off? That first ballad that he had that everybody just played over and over and over again.
I can't remember.
Anyway, he's great. Ed Sheeran's great.
I know you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I know. Yes, the same thing. I can picture it.
Da 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 da. And you're out, and I'm too old to carry you. Something about growing old together.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
You are da 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 da.
Oh.
La da da.
Yes.
Go, try.
Da, da,
No, I'm mixing all songs together.
Oh, I love you till we're 70 or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, that's a different one. That's what I started singing in my head too. But that's not it. That's John Legend.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right on that one.
Oh, I get.
Baby one, la da da dee dee, da 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 da.
Oh, that is it. Did Ed? Well, maybe it was John Legend and Ed Sheeran together.
Well, John Legend, that's another kind of, but he's brilliant. Like, I'm proud to be a fan of John Legend. I'm proud if I'm a fan of any. Like, it's hard. Anything
Yeah.
like to do anything well and to make that kind of money at doing any kind of creative thing is hard.
I was so on John Legend until La La Land, where he was on that and he was
So good.
he was heading up the whole jazz people, even though it was kind of
I
a new
love
take
his
on jazz.
cameo.
But oh my God,
Wasn't that soundtrack so
I'm getting
good?
chills.
That piano, and then and that Ryan Gosling learned the piano.
That blew my mind. I was like, no
For
way.
that-
There's got to be different hands. There's got to be something. But no, the learn.
Apparently, it was his.
Yeah.
Those were his
Yeah,
hands.
same with I was also on him as well until that movie too. That movie changed a lot of minds in me. Or I guess one mind changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would repeatedly watch that. They sent me the movie, the SAG for your consideration, and I don't have a DVD player, but I was like, when I got that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a DVD player, and I play it over and over, and I would pretend that I was the woman in the yellow dress in the intro. Remember the yellow?
Yeah.
That's my guilty.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Being in a yellow dress?
No, something else. Other things. Moving on. Oh God. So for my guilty pleasure, let's see. What I want to go with. I'm gonna start with Disney.
What?
This is it's a song from a Disney movie.
All right. To this round, do we have to sing a part of it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, make it
This
interesting.
this Disney movie wasn't so much in the mainstream, but it did have Amy Adams in it.
I love her.
It was a movie called Enchanted, where it's about. It's a weird movie because it also has McDreamy in it from Grey's Anatomy.
Patrick Dempsey.
There it is.
I love all those.
It starts off as a cartoon, and then something happens where they get brought into real life. So Amy Adams plays
good.
a princess from a Disney world, but now living in modern day New York. So she's just kind of like, what's happening around here? And it's a great movie. And there's this one song where she's singing about love and how you know it's love. It's called How Do You Know? And there's a lot of feels and stuff.
Are you gonna cry?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's the wine.
I'm gonna be pinching myself on the side of the leg here. No, hold it back. Don't
That
cry.
will still give you tears, though.
No, it's a good song. It's fun, and I like listening to it every now and then. It stirs up the hopeless romantic parts, and it's like, oh, that's sweet.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That everybody has that in them. I think.
Yeah, it was also the first time I saw Amy Adams, so those weird kind of like thing.
You had
I was
funny
like, wow,
feelings.
that's amazing.
You don't know how to properly channel your.
Because I grew up on Disney stuff, and
She's
Disney's always
hot.
been big.
Amy
and
Adams
then now
is hot.
she's playing a princess from the Disney world that I have been in love with, and so now this is what the princesses are in all the movies, and so like, you're amazing. And then she's singing all these songs, and I'm like, oh, that's a great song.
And she shops at Ralph's. She shops at my Ralph's.
I do
in
not
Studio
doubt that.
City.
That's amazing.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
All right, I need to know
Shop
exactly
at
which
Ralph's.
Ralph's.
I know, this is
Even though the
bit of
apostrophe is
Amy
missing.
Adams trivia I've ever heard.
What street was that on exactly?
In Studio City. Yes.
All right.
So don't hate me for saying this, not crazy about her being Lois. I'm a comic book guy.
Okay.
I don't think she's a good Lois
right.
Lane. I love her. I loved her in The Fighter. I loved her in a lot of
Yeah.
her different roles. She's amazing.
Yeah,
but
she is amazing.
Not a great
but
Lois Lane.
sometimes it's just the name that they want, and
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, it's not the picture that I have of Lois Lane.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
just.
She'd be better April O'Neil.
Oh yeah, totally. Way better than Megan Fox.
And the yellow jumper?
Yeah.
A Ray Liotta jumper.
No, in a yellow jumper.
Oh.
Because that's how she used to wear back in the
I
cartoons.
heard Ray Liotta in there.
It's Ninja Turtles nonsense. All right.
Yeah.
What's your next guilty pleasure, Maestro?
So
Let's switch topics,
guilty,
please.
yes.
It's really hard to come up after that.
So let's see.
Okay,
Careless Whisper.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No. That's a good one. That's gonna be hard to top that one.
Hair metal.
Hair metal?
Like those like rock ballads.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm going there.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
know where
kind
you're
of cool.
I know
They
where
are
you're
kind of
going.
cool. And
Yeah.
Except, well, they're kind of cool except for unless you're singing it out, singing out loud. Whitesnake.
Awesome, man.
Is it love?
Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
But imagine that you're driving your car.
That I'm
You're singing,
feeling.
yeah. But you're singing that song. You sing that song. That you look to your left. And there's a guy looking right back at you like this.
And you're really getting into it. Your eyes are closed. You're just
Yeah, you have to
in the zone, man. It's the cauliflower. Look at that cauliflower crust what it's doing to your biceps. Jesus.
Oh, yes.
Slow down on the cauliflower.
The guy's like this.
No, really? He did?
He's like this.
That is awesome.
It really
Oh my
is.
God. Just tell him to mind his own damn.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
business.
it's just that one point where you get caught. You're getting
No.
caught, right? You're in the mood, and like, so you look around, look your left.
Like, oh,
You see this
shit.
guy. He's like,
I'm so caught.
The best thing you can do at that point,
so caught.
make direct eye contact, don't break it, and keep singing the song.
That's right. You have two options. Yeah, get embarrassed or do exactly that.
Just straight up, he'd run the red light, I guarantee it. He'd just run the red light to get out of your eye view.
Yeah.
I will try that next time.
All right, Sarah,
good.
it's
Okay, let's see.
song of
Got
yours?
so many, right?
Is my face red? Yeah, it's pretty
What
red.
is the best? You know, so who sang Cherry Pie? She's my cherry pie.
That is Warrant.
Warrant.
Yes.
I used to, my aspirations used to just only be, I just wanted to be the woman washing the car. That used to be where I was like, how do I get out of Flint? I know, I can become the woman that washes the car in the little Daisy Dukes. And I can just get a tan and, grow my hair and wear a push-up bra. And I'm out of Flint, man. So yeah, I know all the lyrics to that song.
All right.
Yes.
These aren't bad songs so far, guys. I like all these songs.
That's a good one.
They're
Yeah.
good. They're good songs. All of them are. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe if you're in the car,
They're brilliant,
windows
these
down,
songs.
maybe-
They're actually genius.
They catch you. Like it's
Yeah.
it's like listening like Purple Rain, or
oh no, come on.
no, but that kind of
But people are
like
proud to love
Yeah.
Purple Rain. I mean, everyone should be proud if that's in their arsenal.
If
You're
anybody
like,
gives you a
you're
great look
okay.
from hearing that in your car, then they're the
Then they
asshole.
think, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Road rage.
or
I'm not even a big Prince fan, but that song is amazing.
That's amazing.
yeah. But I'm saying all the really good music, the one that actually like resonates with you, are usually the ones that actually have a lot of really good talent behind it as well. It's not that like that one song like da 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 da. That's all the song is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from the guy from Ferris Bueller, the teacher. He makes his own song, and it's called Da Da Da. That's it.
Da da da.
Yeah, that's all he says.
That's not the oh yeah.
No.
That was a really good one. Okay, so I heard a rumor, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard in the 90s that the person who wrote By Menon
Yeah,
never has to work another day in their life.
this is correct.
By Menon.
Yes, yes. Royalties.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Back then, they
God.
didn't realize the concept of the royalties. It's got to be huge by now. They don't do that nowadays.
And,
You can't- you
they're
can't.
savvy to it now.
Yeah.
The union, God, we can't even make money by being the star of sexual
Yeah.
lubricant.
From the ID.
Not that I know.
Oh.
Okay. I just Astroglide. What? No, I didn't
Show me your
know.
phone.
In perpetuity. What? Oh, but you're going to pay me
Astroglide.
this? No, I said no to that job, and
Sure.
but that I was very tempted, very, very, very tempted. The money was great, but when that in perpetuity thing,
Yeah.
they have you until the end of life.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, so I'm going to be on the side of a bus, and someone's going to draw a penis coming out of my head. They always do.
Not only that, wait till you get even more visibility as your career grows, and then they're going to start running it over and over and over again, like 10 years from now, or 5 years from now.
Thank you for the confidence. That's the way I looked at it. It's like, you know what, I'm going to be huge one day.
Exactly, and you don't want that.
Perpetuity shit.
When you're in the 4th reboot of the Marvel Universe as a superhero.
Thank you
then,
very much.
Those commercials might not be so good.
Keep the face for Astroglide.
And that's such a superhero power. Like Silver Surfer.
Glide. Lady Astroglide.
Actually, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, Joel, what's your epic guilty pleasure?
I got to save you for
Well,
last.
it's not epic. See, no, you guys have songs that, like, yes, you can go back to them, and there's good talent behind them, and all of them are like,
Oh my.
even Rainbow Connection, all that. So I'll just go into.
There's so many.
I'll just give you a couple of lines from it. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It haunts me, dude. I don't know
Well, that
why.
was an angry woman.
Well,
I'm here to remind you.
You ought to know.
She's outside your door,
oh,
dude.
God.
Like she's like in the bushes underneath your window. Like she's. That was a very scary.
You guys thought I was a stalker earlier. That's a stalker.
That's totally. Yes.
Well, also, Police came out with the Stalker's Anthem. Every step you take.
Oh,
With
That one, right?
Yeah.
I never.
Every move you make.
Ooh.
I was
I never even thought of that.
Sting.
That's that guy called Sting.
Yeah.
I'll be watching you.
That one-hit wonder.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He made Desert Rose and then he disappeared. Yes.
And now he just gets rumored about being a tantric god.
Oh yeah.
I have no doubt those two, man. They're doing ayahuasca and all that cool shit. One of mine, I don't. That's
Let's
another.
just start with the
That's another show.
All right, my final song. This is a guilty pleasure from at least 10 years ago, maybe more. It's kind of like a club song. It's by K Dollar Ha. That's. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I have no.
Oh wait, might be
How does it
Kesha.
go? I love it.
It's a song called Blah Blah Blah. It's just,
How's it go?
gets energy. I have it on
Yeah,
my
seriously.
phone.
Oh, so you just happen to have it.
right
It's ready. Let me just press play.
I do
Are we
listen to
singing
it.
now? Is that what's going on here?
I actually played this about 2 weeks ago, just randomly, because I was in a hyped up mood and I was like, I wanted to.
Wonder what?
I don't know.
What did you
just
wanna
hype
do?
myself up some more.
I'm really glad that you followed up my Alanis Morissette with some Kesha. It makes me feel not so bad.
Nice and balanced.
No, well, yeah.
Have you been watching this show the whole time? Okay.
Just turn around, boy. Let me hit that. Don't be a little bitch with your chit chat.
Just show me.
It would give me such satisfaction if I were in a car and I drove by Adam, like rocking out to this. It would probably make my goddamn day.
How can that?
Oh my God!
That was awesome.
That's enough of that.
That was a real treat.
So that is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, well, I love that we were all just vulnerable with each other like that for a bit because I totally just got a glimpse into what you're like in your
Very
car by
bonding.
yourself.
I have a lot of range with my music. It really knows no bounds, and that's one that if I do have it playing at the car, I'll roll the window up before I get to the stoplight. Like,
From Kissed by a Rose to Kesha.
Kissed by a rose. I like the dichotomy.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty
lot of range.
Yes.
well,
Mucho.
that's about our show. Geez, we've gone for quite a while. This turns out already.
It was the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming, Sarah.
Thank
it
you
was
so
a real
much
pleasure.
for having me.
Yeah.
What a lot of fun.
So your podcast is up now?
Yes, drink it. Well, I will. It goes live August 1st.
August, yes.
Drinking during business hours.
All right. So
Yeah.
check that out. It's on iTunes or all the
iTunes and
Stitchers
SoundCloud.
whatnot?
Yes.
SoundCloud. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
All right, and then SarahJHalstead.com as well.
SarahJHalstead.com, and I'm gonna be, I'm at Laugh Factory August 19th. I'm at this new place called Busby's East on Wilshire next Friday night. Then
Okay.
I'm around. All my shows are on my website.
Fantastic. And Instagram and Twitter is at
Sarah J. Halstead.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having
Thank you
us
for having
or
me.
being here with the
Jeez,
wines.
what a
Thanks for bringing the great
blast.
wine and
Yeah,
being so
anytime.
informational about the taste and the
whatever.
tannins and the flavors.
I gotta try the prosecco before we go.
Yes,
It's the
please.
Only one I'm missing. I think.
And happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah, man. You're good. You're good people.
appreciate it.
And so you were like, okay, I'm gonna go on this cauliflower diet. So what?
Yeah.
You're like, I want to
Yeah.
be skinny for this birthday. You lost a ton of weight.
Yeah. It's
Good for
total.
you.
It's about like 35 total.
Nice.
Since the beginning.
Not the
That's
end.
a lot.
It is.
I
That's
mean, just to
considerable,
lose
dude.
5 pounds for me is like a
Well,
milestone, you
To be
know?
fair, it's easier for guys apparently, especially
Oh,
this
is it?
diet.
Because you don't have boobs.
Right. Well, not anymore.
That's the first place you lose. I lost my boobs.
Well, except when you're a guy, the moves are the last to go, kind of. It's opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Life's so unfair.
But wait, so were you?
Because you lose weight, we don't.
Well, so are you doing some sort of ketosis thing with your?
Yeah, ketosis, that's
Nice.
exactly what it is.
No, I've seen some friends get some sick results with that.
Yeah. I'm happy. And
You included.
Yeah.
Now that I know that you're doing that as well.
It was all diet, and now that this part of it is over, I'm gonna start doing exercise and working out to get all toned and muscular.
Now you're gonna get really
Why are you looking at
serious.
me?
Are you gonna get a spray tan?
No.
No, not Trump here.
I'm Hispanic. I can tan easier. It's just gotta
You
be out.
just take a walk at
Right.
at sunset and be tan.
Yeah. Well, I'm tan here to here. This part I gotta work
Farmer
on.
tan.
Yeah. I'll be driving.
While you rock out to Kesha.
Oh,
Yeah. So not so much.
Dimension, right?
My head usually higher up when I'm driving though. With the fist pump.
Badass.
Yeah, that's the light cardio.
I'm gonna regret that so much.
yes, you are. You know they can make Jeff files out of this, don't right?
Yeah.
okay.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh no. What have I done? What have I done? Yeah. Well, anyway, again, thank you so much for
Thank
for
you
joining
so
us.
much for having me. It was a blast.
So make sure you check out our website, ratpackpodcast.com, ratpack.productions. Twitter and Instagram is @ratpackpodcast, and the YouTube is Ratpack Productions.
Yeah.
So check that out, like our things, click on the things and whatnot, and
Like it, subscribe.
yeah. Make sure you follow Sarah at Sarah J. Halstead and the website sarahjhalstead.com. And until next time, thanks for joining us. I'm Adam.
Maestro.
For Maestro, Joel, and Sarah. See you
Hey,
next
you
time.
guys have a good
Thank
night.
you.